إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد عباد الله. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam his last and final messenger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran have mentioned so many verses or have mentioned it so many times our children, our offsprings, dhurriyatuna, our offsprings and our children, that He mentioned it 32 times in the Quran, in 19 different surahs, that He speaks about our offspring, talking about our children. 2 times He even used the word awlad, beside the 32 times dhurriyat. So from this we realize that this subject is something Al-Quran paid a lot of attention to it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke a lot about it. Because we all know the value of the family. The family is the infrastructure for any society, for any future, to any nation or to any civilization. That day I was just thinking about reading about the number of humanity, how the population of human beings and how we're growing. Then I just looked back on time where we all started from. I just got this kit from National Geographic where you swipe your DNA and they will trace back where you came from originally. So when you go online, they tell you where your family goes. And you see that map around the world where people move from this place to that place. Very cool program. So, or experiment. Anyway, when I was looking into this, I just came to realize something very unique, even though it's very obvious. We all started from one single family. All what you see today started from one single family, Adam and Eve. Then their children. You know, don't ever underestimate the power of one good single family, that they can make miracles. It's very interesting to think about how really the community is made of collections of families, and the families produce other generations and we grow and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran to look after our children, even though it is something natural that you protect your children, you look after them. But still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have so many verses telling us about the importance of taking good care of our children. Yusikumullahu fi awladikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yusikum, He recommend you, He remind you, He urge you to take good care of your children. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O who you believe, protect yourself and your family from the hellfire. وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. Order your family, and that includes your wife, your spouse, and your children. Order them to pray and be patient with that. Allah praised the believers, and He praised them and mentioned their character traits. And one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about them, that they say, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Oh Allah, bless us with spouses and children, then they will be cool to our eyes. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that every person is ra'in wa mas'ul. Every person is a shepherd and in charge of his family, and will be asking the day of judgment about those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him in charge or her in charge of. And the hadith, the famous hadith in al-Bukhari wa Muslim. وفي سنن سعيد بن منصور علموا أولادكم وأهليكم الخير وأدبوهم. Teach your children, your family, all good character traits. All good character traits. And make sure that they behave well. They behave well. And there are so many narrations like this. I know that we all care for our children to a certain extent. People are different in the way they look after them and they care for them. I know that it is each and every one. Always when we think about children, we think about this: how we can provide good education for them, how can we protect them, how can we ensure a secure future for them, how can we make sure that they, when they grow up, they have a good job, they have a good education, and secure them financially and so forth. I know that this is always what we think about. And sometimes people say, one of the things that I always think about my kids, especially when they grow up, how to benefit from them. Sometimes I tell my kids, get this or bring that. They said, why don't you get it? Then the answer will be, why I have you guys. Okay, so sometimes you take advantage of your kids. That's fine, as long as it's not abuseful. But I want to share with you in this khutbah another perspective about our kids. I know that you all care for them, and you all care for these areas that I mentioned, and many others. But what I would like you to think about today in this khutbah is to think about how can you learn from your kids? What our kids can teach us. What the quality that our kids have that I think we as adults in great need of. And something that we can watch them and reflect upon these character traits, wonderful character traits that they have. Children ask those who, I've been around kids for quite a time now, so I've been really seeing how the kids, and every year goes by, I learn more from my own children. Ask those teachers, schools, who deal with kids, beside all the crazy things that they go through. But in the end of the day, you can learn a lot really we can learn a lot from our kids, from their akhlaq, from their trait, from the fitrah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created them upon. I don't think there is anything wrong to learn from your kids, even to adopt some skills. Your kids can teach you, believe it or not. Your kids can teach you that. And I would like to share with you some of these points. Number one, and things I've been reflecting upon when I was preparing for this khutbah. One of the things that's so obvious about kids, persistence. Kids, they don't give up. They are persistent and they try different ways to achieve their goal and their means. If they want something, they just keep trying and trying and trying. Even if they want to fix something, they try and try. Sometimes they cry and get frustrated, but they never give up. They always try their best to achieve the goal that they want to achieve, to get what they want. And they do every single possible thing in their hand to do that. And I wish that we learned that when we have a goal, that we are persistent in achieving our goal. That we try our best and hard and not to give up. Not to throw the towel and said, I'm out, I quit. Quitter are not a builder. But those who are persistent, those who basically pursue their dreams and their goals in life are the one who really succeed in the end of the day. A lot of people give up after 1 or 2 or 3 trials. Look at your kids. Look at them. Most of the kids, even if they get frustrated and throw the toy, they go back to it, and after a little bit they come down, they go and they try again. Number 2, kids have a wonderful and amazing positive mental attitude toward failure. Most of the kids, they have that positive mental attitude towards failure. Even if they fail, they start come back and they start trying another way. Many people, they don't have this attitude. Many of us, when we fail once, when we don't succeed and achieve our goal at first time or second time, we just quit. You try to learn something, to learn the Quran, to learn Arabic, to know, to improve your ability to memorize. After a while, you quit. You just don't continue. Number 3, what I love about the kids the most, the purity of their hearts. Most of the kids, they are pure in their hearts. And this is an amazing thing. And one of the things that shows you, no matter how maybe a little bit you upset your kid, or he get upset at you, after a little bit you come back to him and try to please him. Even if you resist a little bit, immediately he comes back with completely clean hearts. Never hold grudge. Kids, they don't not like adults. They're not like adults. SubhanAllah, adults they just hold into resentment and anger. Kids quickly, they can cleanse their heart. And I hope that this is something we can imitate them in it. That always purify our heart. We don't hold things in our heart against others. Some people, they smile at your face and they welcome you and maybe give you a title when they speak to you. But inside their heart, they have completely different story. They hate you, they don't like you, they can't stand you. They just been talking bad about you. That's not right. Kids, they don't have that, and we should not have that as well. One of the best things that you can have in the day of judgment, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ, a sound heart. One of the meaning of sound heart, يعني free from these negative, evil feelings towards others. One thing also about kids which is very noticeable, their ability to adjust. Kids, our kids, if you notice, they have the ability to adjust. You know, sometimes you take the kids to this fancy place, like a brother was telling me, he took his kids to Disneyland or one of these theme parks. I spent hundreds of dollars. Anyway, it didn't work out, and we end up in a hotel. They have a playground in the hotel. You know what? My kid has the biggest fun ever in the world in that small playground. They're very easy to adjust to the new situation that they are in, and they can fit. That's why kids, very easy to adjust if they have the proper environment. A lot of people, they don't know how to adjust. A lot of us, we don't know how to adjust. And I think you should watch your kids, see how they adjust and learn how to do that. To adjust with the life that you have now. Always be pleased with what you have and aim for something better. But you have to start from being pleased with what you have and you try to improve. But if you never be pleased with what you have and you're just only thinking about what you don't have, most of the time you don't achieve your goals or whatever you are dreaming about. Also, one thing about kids, this is so beautiful about children, laughing and smiling. Average kids, they smile and they laugh 200 times a day. The best adult, 80 times. That's the best guy or girl, 80 times a day. But kids, 200 times. You remember a few weeks back, I spoke about laughter and smiling. If you don't remember, you didn't attend the khutbah, go listen to it online. You know, I talk about how laughter is the best medicine, free medicine. I know doctors, they don't like me saying that, but you know, it's a free medicine. It will help you to basically increase your strengthen your immunity system. It will help you to counter so many diseases. So many researches I mentioned in that khutbah about how laughter can be, and Houston is it's actually the leading city in the whole United States and the world, that they are the first one. St. Luke, they start in the hospital treating people through fun activity and smiling and laughing. So this is something we should watch our kids, how they laugh a lot, and we try to imitate them on that. Number 6, simplicity. And they are so content with what they have. And that's something so noticeable in kids, so unnoticeable. You notice the opposite in the adult's life. Very rare people, they are simple. Adult, when we grow old, we try to complicate things. Kids, they take things in a very simple format. Adult, we complicate things. And I think we need to watch them to simplify things. The more you simplify your task, your works, your life, the more easy it is. That's what it is, al-yusra. It is simple, it is easy. The more you complicate it, the more it became difficult. Number 7, kids are amazing when it comes to discovering and developing. That's what kids are all about. They discover new things, they develop themselves. A lot of adults, they stop. Not because your body stopped growing, it means your knowledge should stop growing. It means your mind stopped growing. It means your akhlaq stopped growing. Your talent stopped growing. No, you still have plenty of space to grow. Plenty of things that you can improve in your life. Look at your kids and see how they are an amazing creature when it comes to discovering and discovering the talents that they have, and they're discovering the things around them. Wallahi, there are so many of us reach 60s and 70s, and maybe or earlier, older than that, and still there are so many things that Allah have given them, and they have not utilized it fully yet. One thing about kids, which is number 8, I notice kids have trusting issue. I don't know, it's not a good thing. Kids easily to trust people. That's why you have to tell your kids, don't trust stranger, be careful with stranger, you know. But you know what? That's a good thing to trust people. Those who always live that they don't trust anyone, this life is miserable. That you always think negative about others. You don't trust others. You know, it started even sometimes with the closest people to you. How can you live your life like that? And you always think, I don't trust this. I don't trust this organization. I don't trust this sheikh. I don't trust this guy. I don't trust this man. I don't trust this business. I don't trust this opportunity. People negative like that, not trusting the people around you and the life around you, it will make your life miserable and disaster. Learn from kids how they easily can trust others. And that's, well, help you to make your life much smoother and happier. Also, kids are amazing when it comes to confidence. You know, my daughter think that she is the most beautiful girl in the world. You know, no one ever even more beautiful than her. Yeah, she have this confidence in herself. Or my son think that he is the best soccer player in the world. Or he is the best this or the best that. Did you notice that? Not my kids, everybody's kids like that. They always have this sense of confidence. And this is a beautiful thing to have. Not saying fool yourself, but it's so good to trust yourself, to have confidence in yourself. Those who always question themselves, don't trust themselves, they doubt themselves, they don't go any far. They live in a tight life, narrow life, miserable life, if I even may say. But if you trust yourself and you have confidence in yourself, things become much easier, because I will tell you something. People will always see you the way you see yourself. People will always see you the way you see yourself. So keep that in mind and learn from your kids how to have confidence. Also, kids, even they have confidence and trust, but they are cautious. Kids, they know that this burned them, they are very cautious. And they think, and if they have a bad experience, they learn from it. And the mu'min should be like that. The mu'min should لا يلدغ من جحر مرتين. You should not be bitten from the same hole twice. But some adults, they do the same mistakes again and again and again and again and again and again. We should watch kids how they are cautious before they make a mistake again. Number 11, I know it's about kids also. They know how to beg for their needs very well. They know how to beg for their needs. They cry, they ask you, they bring old favor words. They know how to manipulate you sometimes as a parent. You know what you need this for? We need to learn how to do this when we deal with our Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's been narrated in some of the narrations that human beings are the children of Allah. The children of Allah. We need to learn how to beg Him, how to ask Him, how to cry in front of Him when we pray. When we ask something, we ask for it and we ask again and we ask again with full confidence and hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it to us. Also, one of the things that I notice about kids, that kids, whenever you do good to them, they forget about whatever bad you have done to them. And if you did something bad, then you follow it with good, they're willing to forgive and to move on. Ya akhi, some brothers and some sisters, or some spouses, you do bad things, then you not do one good thing. You do a million good things after that. And it will never go away. It will be always there. They will never forgive you. They will never let it go. Learn from kids how they able to move on and to forgive. Also, one thing I want to tell you about our kids. They have knowledge of things you might not have. Oh yeah. Your kids maybe know so many things you have no clue that they have it. Just to spend time, study with them. Review things with them. Talk to them in the car when you drop them in their school. You know, talk to them. Ask them, let's go over what they study in the school today. Wallahi, even my kids who's in Iman Academy in first grade, so many times he will tell me things I never heard of in my life. And things are like very interesting animal facts or planet facts or things like that. And I love it, second grade, third grade. Okay, so you will see that your kids, especially if they grow even older, like in middle school, high school, and you go with some of the stuff that they study, wallahi, you can learn so much from your children. Because whatever knowledge that you have at your time, okay, it's already gone. This is new. I'm in the field of education. One of the principles that I have as a person in charge of Al-Maghrib Institute, I tell my teachers, you know what? All study says, as a teacher, I have to, there is no old information is considered old after 3 years. Every 3 years you have to change your curriculum. You have to change your basically binder, your teaching materials. You can't keep it for more than 3 years. That means there is so much things, and some of them said 5 years. So whatever you study, Allah alam how long you studied, okay, in college or in high school, there is so much have change, and there is so many things you really can benefit from your kids if you spend time with them. Finally, one thing is so noticeable about kids that we should learn from them, that they are active, full of energy, not lazy like us, not like to sit just on the couch, you know, being lazy, watching TV all the time. They like to be, they're full of life. You know, we can't wait for our kids to learn how to walk, and the moment they start running away, we said, sit down. You know, you can't wait for them to start walking, and when they start walking and running, you tell them, sit down. No, that's not how kids are full of life. And this is something we need to impress as well in our life, to be more active, have more energy, doing more things, and that will definitely change your life. One of the things that Prophet ﷺ used to ask Allah to protect him from it is being laziness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an yahfadha awladana wa awladakum. أقول ما سمعتم وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. My brothers and sisters, these great qualities, and I'm sure if you think about other points, you can learn more from your children, but these are 14 different points I shared with you today that I personally reflect upon when I watch my kids or other kids, and I hope that I can learn from them. Make sure that you protect these beautiful character traits, these beautiful meanings. These things should be protected in our kids, developed in our kids. Don't ignore it, don't ignore them, so they ignore it. So they ignore these character traits. So they will grow up and they lose it after they became old. My brothers and sisters, we're looking for the next generation to be much stronger and better than our generation, aren't we? Aren't we looking for a generation will protect this deen, protect our legacy, protect our community, protect our country, will carry and move to carry on the beautiful things that we're enjoying today and we're going to leave behind when we die. We're looking for people to bring that legacy back. Those who will finish what we started. Those who will develop what we established. Those who will collect what we are seeding today. That's what we're looking for. That's how we're investing our children. And the question is, did you really invest your children that he will be part of this community, part of this generation? Did we really invest of them and make them to feel that they are part of the society? One of the most dangerous things I see today, that the isolation of the new generation. Everybody live for himself. And I see it more and more as we come, as we go. Like the younger generation are more isolated, less social than the older ones. We thought social media bring us, connect us. No, actually divided us more and make us more isolated. We're virtually maybe social, but on the ground we're not. You know, every time I go to the line in the coffee shop or in the elevator, I remember in the 90s, not long time ago. I'm not that old man to just talk about the past. You know, in the 90s when you stay, every time I go to the, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Now you go to the elevator, everybody looking at their gadgets. Look at families at the dinner table. Everybody looking to their gadget. There is no social life anymore. We're not coming closer to each other. So what I'm saying here is your children are really feeling that they are part of a community, they are part of the society, they are part of a country, they are part of a nation, they are part of a history and civilization. Do they feel that they belong to that? Have you ever teach your children to contribute to this society, to this community, that you today coming to this masjid? But what can guarantee that our children will come to the masjid, will take care of the masjid? What can guarantee that to us? If we don't teach them from now that they belong to, they go there, they pray there, they laugh there, they play there, they learn there, they contribute to that place. Did we teach them how to donate their money, their time, their talent, their effort? Did we invest in them like what Maryam did? Maryam bint Imran, her mother said, إِنِّي نَذَرْتُ لَكَ مَا فِي بَطْنِي مُحَرَّرًا. I pledge what is in my womb to you, Ya Allah. Are we like Anas ibn Malik when his mother came and she said, Ya Rasulullah, this is my son Anas, he's 10 years old. I want to invest in my son. I want him to be your servant, to be with you in your house when you walk, when you talk, when you sit, when you eat, so he can learn. And Anas became one of the greatest scholars among the companions. Are we like Shafi'i rahimahullah, 13 years old boy? She cleaned him up and she's a single mom. She said, I support you, son. You go learn and seek knowledge and I will support you financially. And she sent him to Medina. She used to live in Mecca. Are we like Umar ibn Abdul Aziz's father? Or Walid ibn Son? Long names and lists, that's not my point. The great men and women that we have in history, it is their parents they're invested in them. We don't want to be like what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran in Surah An-Nisa, verse 9. وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ. And those fear injustice as if they themselves had left weak offsprings behind and fear for them. You don't want to have that. The good children, al-walad al-salih, girl or a boy, if you die first, he's a continuation for your good deeds. عَمَلٌ صَالِحٌ يَبْقَى لَكَ. And if he die first, your son or your daughter, أَثْقَلُ شَيْءٍ فِي مِيزَانِكَ كَمَا فِي حَدِيثِ ثَوْبَانَ. He is the heaviest things in your scale on the day of judgment, as Thawban reported that the Prophet ﷺ said. It's a win-win situation. You die first or he dies first, or she. I ask you, brothers and sisters, I ask you to make sure that we protect the means, the infrastructures that we have in our community today, that it will help us to leave behind us a strong generation, a strong children. I ask you to protect it, to develop, to support it, to care for it. This life is not about what you have accomplished. This life really, it's about what you have contributed. This life is not about how much money you have made. It's about how much difference you have made. This life is not about the impression that you leave. It's really about the impact that you leave. This life is not about your career. It's not about your career. It's really, what is it about? It is about your organization. It's about your family. It's about your community that you leave behind you. It's not even about what you learn. It's mainly about what you taught, what you passed on. It's not about how you improved. It's how you help other to improve other. So brothers and sisters, there is a big difference in these two attitudes. But those who want to really leave a legacy behind them, the legacy you will eventually leave is determined by the legacy that you are living in today. And I'll say that again. The legacy that the legacy you will eventually leave is determined by the legacy you are living in today. So if you're living this legacy today, you will leave it behind you. فاقد الشيء لا يعطيه. You can't give what you don't have. You can't pass to your children what you never had. If you really want them to be what you want them to be, let them see it in you and in us. That's why I ask each and every one of us to take my message home today and to reflect upon this. And to always think of yourself as one important person in this society. And wallahi, that's how I see each and every one of you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give all of us success in the dunya and in the akhirah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and your family. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and our children and our spouses. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower all of us with His mercy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our parents. اللهم اغفر لآبائنا وأمهاتنا اللهم اغفر لآبائنا وأمهاتنا ارفع درجاتهم في عليين واغفر لهم يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم إني أسألك يا حي يا قيوم نصرا عاجلا للمظلومين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها فرج همهم يا حي يا قيوم فرج عن كل عسير ومكروب يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآله وقوموا للصلاة يرحمكم الله.